Yeah, last week we decided, just hello everybody, we're just getting set up here. Thanks for your patience. So last week we decided 1 minute before we're supposed to go live to do it, and it was really cool. So I'm, going to see if everybody's capable of doing it now, because what's funny, Kayla, is I've learned that most people can't do half the crap they should be able to do. They say how great they are with technology, how great they are with social media. But then you go to their profile and you see, well, they don't have any way to contact them. You can't find them. They're secret. I don't get that. But anyway, everybody, welcome. Today is Friday. It is June 28th. And today's a very special day. Number one, I have a very special lady with me, Kayla Laos from Arizona, JK Realty in Arizona. But today is also episode number 52. And if everybody knows and learned well in grade school, 52 weeks equal 1 year. So that means that this is our 1 year show, our last show in this year. And no, we do not take a hiatus. We will be on next week, episode 53, the first of the new year, July 5th. So difficult to get people on in the United States. So we actually had to go all the way over to England to get our guest for next week. And we have a very special guest by the name of Stephen Bates, who is a specialist in mindset, a specialist in bringing CEOs to higher levels, and he's going to be with us. I just wanted to give that shout out today. My name is Dave Fanale. This is Real Estate Talk TGIF, and you all should know what that means by now. It means thank God it's finale. And here we are, Friday as well. And why you should listen to us is really simple. We are cool, we are innovative, we know what we're talking about, and we're going to give you a lot of value that you can use in your daily business. And even if you're not a real estate agent, maybe you're a loan officer, maybe you're insurance, or maybe you're just a cool kid wanting to watch us perform, that's great, because that's what we do. We perform in our daily lives to bring pleasure and value to others. So Kayla, welcome to the show, number 52. How are you?
Hey, I am doing great this morning. I am in Gilbert, Arizona, and I'm super excited and humbled to be on your 52nd show. What a huge accomplishment. Congratulations to you on that. It's quite phenomenal, my friend. So really excited to be here with you today and talk about a lot of the things that kind of are on the forefront of what we're all feeling and seeing in the real estate industry. And I know we had talked briefly the other day, and I had mentioned, wow, did you see Religys stock dropped 10% in one day? Massive shakeup is happening. And so I'm just excited to be a part. I am a broker owner. I own a real estate company here in the Phoenix proper area. Essentially, Phoenix, Arizona is where we're at. I have been in real estate since 2003. I personally sold a couple thousand homes. Yes, I know, me. Can you believe it? And then I've brokered thousands more. I grew a brokerage from ground up to about 250 agents. More recently, I've been working on a software company. So I'm just really excited about all of the growth in the industry. And something I say often to our agents and to people that I mentor and coach is the shift is a gift. The shift that we're seeing in real estate is truly a gift. And I think that if we can really capitalize on that, us at the top of our game can really dominate the market and do really neat things.
That's fit. First of all, thanks so much for being here. And you said already so much that's enough for the show. You've already said it. I mean, this is a gift. Realogy is, I don't know, but there's some things going on there, and that's part of the shift. But since you mentioned the shift, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the shift. Now, is it a shift in the real estate market per se with sales and prices and all that? What do you mean by the shift?
Well, if you really want a good overview of what's going on, and I think most real estate agents understand this, but what we have is an industry with a very low barrier of entry, right? For 90 hours and less than a pair of Yeezys, you can go out there and you can get your real estate license and you can help someone with the largest purchase of their life. It's kind of scary. Low barrier of entry. We have extremely high churn in the real estate industry. They say 87% of real estate agents are out within within 5 years. Well, what is the one thing that we need to be really good at our job and to do an amazing job for sellers and buyers? It's experience, it's time. And so real estate agents just don't give themselves that experience in that time. Another huge problem that I see with our real estate industry is we innovate at less than 0.5% of our asset size class. So to give you an idea of that, the commission industry nationwide is about $75 billion. Real estate agents innovate at less than 0.5% of their asset size class when you compare that to other industries that are innovating at about 3%. So just the very nature of our real estate industry is screaming for disruption. So what has happened, if you look at the money, I'm a big believer in you follow the money and what's going on. And if you look at the money, what's happening is the rise of iBuyers, the rise of employee models. You look at the Open Doors, the offer pads, you look at the Redfins and you see what they're doing and the money that is just pouring into these organizations. It's creating massive disruption. And I believe the disruption is focused exactly where it should be, on improving the consumer experience. And as real estate agents, that should be our number one goal. You know, I was in a real estate Facebook group the other day, huge real estate Facebook group nationwide, thousands and thousands of members. And I was just scrolling through and seeing what are the topics, what's pressing on the hearts and the souls of real estate agents right now. And you know what it is? It's these iBuyers. I have a very unique perspective. Arizona was the first state that rose the iBuyer. Open Door started here. OfferPad started here. Zillow Offers started here. So we have a very unique perspective on what's going on and the disruption that is happening. Here locally, every home that lists in the MLS, what they're saying is 20% of those homes have already received an offer from an iBuyer. And if you look at that statistic alone, that tells an amazing story. Peel that back. What does that mean? Well, if 1 in 5 sellers are going to Open Door, OfferPad, Zillow, and they're getting an offer on their home before they even call you, well, that means you're going to lose that market share unless we retool and we rethink how we approach this. And so I have a few ideas on that. But yeah, so kind of that is what we're seeing here. And the iBuyer is becoming a growing and very fascinating topic.
Well, that's pretty amazing because we've all heard of, I mean, a lot of us have heard of the iBuyer and we've heard of Zillow Offers, and everybody got really nervous about it because it did start out by you, and I know it's gone to Florida. And the reason I look at my phone is we just got a message from my buddy John Reyes in California, who said that he's having trouble hearing you a little bit. And John, since you're listening now, can you hear me? And it's a little delay, so John, can you hear me? Okay. So we just want to see if he can hear us. We'll just keep going. Okay. From social networks out in Rancho Cucamonga, California. Anyway, so as we talk about the iBuyer and we talk about the shift, and you put those two together, and you say that the shift is a gift, right?
Yes.
Is the shift more or less that the real estate agent needs to get their shit together to be able to have more value? Or do they need to change how they service people? What do you feel that they should be changing, real estate agents should be adjusting to?
I think we have to rethink everything. I think that, yes, do we need to get our shit together? Absolutely. I think the disenfranchised independent contractor model is not serving the consumer. So the consumer wants consistency. We live in an Amazon now society. Right. We can get anything we want very quickly. And so when you think about the friction in the traditional real estate process and how the consumer is really stepping up and saying, listen, I am willing to spend money on a good experience. They see value in that. They're willing to trip over thousands of dollars to reduce the friction and to have certainty of sale. And so I think that as real estate agents, how we can coexist in this new landscape is we really need to use iBuyers as a tool in our business. So if you are in a market where there are iBuyers, I would be having a conversation with all of your clients. I would be letting them know you can get them multiple cash offers on their home. And I would solicit those cash offers for them, assuming, of course, that they wanted them. And I would use those cash offers as a basis of showing my seller, here's what the companies that buy your house will buy it for. Here's what I can sell it for on the traditional market. Here's my concierge service plan to eliminate your most valuable resources, your headache, your time, your energy. We're going to eliminate all of those headaches so that we can have a very great process for you. And I think that the agents that can retool quickly and learn how to integrate with these iBuyers will thrive. They will thrive and they will do very well. So, rethinking everything is going to be absolutely key to being here in 2025.
Well, I don't mean to I'm just looking at what the feedback we're getting.
Yeah,
About
no,
I'm in trouble. I want to ask you about concierge service.
Yes, let's do it.
When we were talking the other day, we were talking about how the shift should be for agents should be how are they doing how are they showing their value to real estate agent, to the consumer, and how are they increasing their value? Because the shift, as I believe what you're saying, is value, to increase their value in a different way, though, on a different plane, correct?
Absolutely. We have to get over, the listings, the information. It's been democratized. It's out there. There's no value in having a search portal any longer. There just isn't. And so where is the value as a real estate agent? It's eliminating the headache from the consumer's mind. It's really giving them an amazing process. So some of the things that our agents are doing here, we have concierge service plans. You can tier structure your services. You can offer initial home cleans. You can offer once a month yard maintenance. You can offer moving boxes. You can offer staging services. You can offer, moving services, packaging all of these things up so that when you have a client come to you, you can really share with them, here's what I'm doing for you to make this process really amazing.
So years ago, when I first got into business, and if anybody doesn't know this, I owned a Century 21 franchise for 21 years. Walked away from a couple of years ago. 20 years ago, we tried to build what you're talking about, a concierge service, where it was, okay, well, then the biggest focus really was working with mortgage and title. And then we also talked about moving services and boxes and staging and all that stuff. And we found it difficult to put together. Now, you've been in the business since early 2000s, and I'm sure you've seen it back then. What do you think is the difference today compared to then in the consumer and being open to that type of service?
Hands down, technology. We can streamline processes and procedures. We can provide a fairly consistent procedure for our clients. And so it's technology. It's really developing that system that you can leverage and scale across multiple, even, cities, states. You've seen some of these mega teams going into other states and using their model and opening up there. And I think that's all very effective. So technology is the game changer.
Okay, I get that. Technology is the game changer. So let's look at value, right?
Yes.
So let's look at value. Let's look at the iBuyer, and let's look at the real estate talk.
Okay, let's do it.
Realtors talk about. Now, you and I have been involved with a great man by the name of John Cheplack, right? Yes. That's how we came. That's how we met. And one of the things that he's talked about is we've got to get rid of the cheesy sales lines.
Yes.
Right? The cheesy things that we do to handle objections. Where do we go with our scripts? Where do we go with what we say and how we say it? I've always said to people, it's not what you do, it's how you do what you do. So what do we do with what we say and how we say it? How do we pull that along?
Oh my goodness, talking about listening to agents, so I was in a Facebook group, saw a Facebook post, what's your best commission, objection handler? And I'm going, oh my goodness, these people, they have it all wrong. We shouldn't be focusing on how to handle our objections. will feel it. It's a very intangible quality, but they will feel it. It will come through in all of your messaging. So I say focus on how you can improve the experience for your seller, for your buyer. And when you do that, everything else will just kind of flow from it. I know it sounds cliche and cheesy, but it's very true. When you focus on them, when it's not about you, it's about them, it's a completely different ball game. And again, going from what I'm seeing here in our market with all of our iBuyers, with 20% of all of the homes that live at the time, making a seller a better offer 3 months since they've been here in our market. And 80% of the time it was better. Changing landscape. You really have to be the consultant. You have to be the professional. You have to go in there with the seller and you have to show them all of their options. And you have to really be there and of service to them. Because see, here's the reality. You're going to lose some of those listing opportunities to the seller selling to an iBuyer. And you have to be okay with that. You know, and John Cheplack, our coach and mentor from years ago, you have to be depositing that value and goodwill in the mind of that consumer. And we talk a lot about Mindshare. How do you gain that Mindshare? You give them value and goodwill so that before they even meet you, maybe they're following you digitally, maybe they're following you on Facebook or on Instagram or on LinkedIn. You're dropping so much value on what's going on in the market that when they do have a need and they're unable to fulfill that need on their own, they will think of you and they'll reach out to you. So again, our mindset has to completely change on all of this. And here locally, we're having to adapt very quickly. We're 3 to 5 years ahead of the rest of the country just because all of these iBuyers have started in the state of Arizona. So what we're seeing here is definitely ahead of the curve. And I'm telling you, tool up, you guys, tool up, familiarize yourself with the process. Don't stick your head in the sand. I see a lot of agents that are so hell-bent on convincing all of their followers not to take an iBuyer offer. And I'm going, you are missing the point.
Right.
We are willing to pay for convenience. Amazon Now is a great example. You scale that in the real estate transaction and a consumer is willing to pay for experience. It is our short-sightedness that didn't see this coming. And so I really feel like gone are the days where we're going to convince people not to do this, not to sell to iBuyers, etc. It's gone. It's going to happen. How can we embrace it? And how can we provide them an amazing experience? And you know, here's the thing, if we embrace this and if we really be that consultant, guess what? We're going to end up listing more houses. You will be an amazing listing agent. You'll have all of the inventory and all of the money that you want if you take this route.
So let's we're having some echo problems, and I don't know.
I'm wondering if it's Instagram, but it's.
I tell you what. What we're going to do now is we're going to sign off of Instagram. Okay.
Ooh, I can't hear you.
That will help us. So we're going to sign off of Instagram. See if folks. Okay.
Okay.
So we have signed off of Instagram, and hopefully, I'm hearing myself, which I should. So I really don't want to play with anything, but I don't want to lose the connection. So just give me 1 second. I'm going to try to make an adjustment here. This sorry about that. This is technology. Everything was great at the beginning.
I can hear you.
Let's see. Okay. Maybe that's better. No, I shouldn't hear myself on my own system. So I know there's an echo out there. Anyway, so let's move forward. So one of the other things I want to talk to you about, you're talking about, showing value. And the other thing how you do with that value is how do people market that value? So a lot of people are out there putting out content. And you know as I do, you have to put out relevant content, right? So now we're talking about concierge, we're talking about iBuyers. Do you think there should be a shift in how we market ourselves, not necessarily how, but what we say?
Well, sure, absolutely. I think that, again, taking that consumer-centric approach to the marketing in our business, really realizing that sellers and buyers, they could care less how many homes you've sold. Really, they could care less how long you've been in the business. All they want to know is, are you going to be able to serve and support them at the highest capacity? So I think the messaging and the marketing really needs to be consumer-centric. And there are million ways we can do that, right? I think that documenting what you do on a continual basis is a great way to do so. So if you're on Instagram making, 10 to 18 Instagram stories of what you're doing in the real live time, doing a Facebook live show, your Facebook live show is amazing, 52 weeks. Oh my goodness. Again, congratulations on that. That's insane. Wow. But, all of these things that we can be implementing to really position ourselves as the leader of knowledge in our marketplace. And I think consistency, it's going to come down to consistency. It's the agent that was able to consistently farm a neighborhood. It's the agent that was able to consistently go after expired listings. It's the agent that's been able to consistently implement, high touch Brian Buffini type techniques. It's the agent that can consistently execute and provide that level of consistent messaging in the marketplace. They're the ones that are going to win with all of this.
Absolutely. And the most important thing that we put forward in my coaching program, which was a client acquisition intensive, is all about the value that you bring to social media, the old ways and the new ways. So, the old ways still work. It's just what you're putting out. And then being able to get all your communication points out, being everywhere, but the message that shows a lot of value. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's interesting, what type of messaging is of value? Well, I think that anything that is showing up that you're working through on behalf of a client, of course, if it's in the realm of disclosure, that's great information to be sharing and great messaging to be sharing. So if you're in the field and you're doing real estate, you are the best one to be talking about what's going on because you're out there, you're doing it. You're getting your hands dirty on a day-to-day basis. So agents really have a plethora of opportunities. And the cool thing is everybody wants to see inside other people's homes, right? We're all kind of voyeuristic by nature. And so I think what we do on a day-to-day basis really lends to people following us. So, the real estate agents of the future, I do think will be the ones that are able to garner massive attention on social media platforms or whatever it is in 2025. Whatever that platform is in 2025 that's got the attention, if we're there, we'll do well.
So let's talk about value to another point. Let's talk about wants and needs and all that stuff. So many of us want to really help people by giving them what we think they need, right? Yes. One of the things that we try to put forth in the program is step one is make sure you're consistent, as you just said, okay? The other thing is make sure you're looking at what their problem is, what they perceive their problem to be, and address that, right? And then take our world of technology and build that for more convenience for them, right? So when we talk about convenience, I'm talking about being a little bit more virtual. What do you think about that?
About being a little bit more what?
Virtual.
Absolutely. And I think that we had talked about, some strategies that you can be implementing in your business. Virtual showings, we're doing that very often. I think that that's something that you had shared as a technique to get out there and really leverage your time is do virtual showings. How about virtual listing appointments? How many of us are out there sharing with our following, like, hey, curious what your home is going to sell for, want to do a virtual listing appointment, get on my calendar and pick a time that works for you. So really implementing process and procedure. I think Calendly, I'm amazed at how many agents aren't embracing calendar technologies as such to where potential buyer or seller can just hop on and they can grab whatever slot they want and then they're connected with you.
Yeah, I want to say a little bit, one thing about Calendly or any type of service you use, which I use, right, as well. You can't make it like when you call somebody, you've got to go through so many steps and so many hoops to make an appointment or to make a phone call or whatever. You have to be careful with that when you're more personal in my opinion. The virtuality or the virtualness, whatever the word is, can work so well in, like you said, listing presentation. How about first buyer consultation, which is the one thing that we push a lot, right? And also, thanks to Laura and Taylor, I've gotten so much information on virtual house hunting. She teaches, it's virtualhousehunting.com. Great program where you're actually showing people the homes they want to see, and you're saving them time. It's convenient, it's a great convenience factor, right? So as we move forward to our virtual world, and by the way, I want to just come out with a couple of things that your husband Jason says you can hear it perfectly.
Yay!
And Matt will come out with the feed that I'm here. So Barry Wilkins would like to hear more about how you're offering concierge services. Sounds like a super idea. So Barry Wilkins, we'll get in touch with you and our Taylor will, so you understand that. But taking it all full scale to the word share, right? Let's come back to that.
Yes.
And you mentioned something else we stated along with it called Mindshare.
Yes.
Talk to me more about the shift and mind, how you're going to put that together with the consumer. That's really weird, I know, but let me know your thoughts on that.
Yeah, it sounds very, on the surface, it can sound a little crazy, right? Mindshare and the shift. And, I think what we're really saying is that, hey, I'm here. I've been in real estate for a long time. There are some amazing new technologies that are streamlining processes and procedures. But what I really know I can bring to value in your transaction is the experience that I have. And I think that gaining that mind share is just reiterating in your, whoever it is, your sphere, your following, your LinkedIn, your Instagram, your Facebook, positioning yourself as that knowledge leader in your industry. That is what is going to gain mind share. I tell our agents here, and I've had the pleasure of speaking at Inman. I spoke for Remax. I spoke at Gary Vee's Agent 2021, and I've talked about how when someone thinks real estate, I want them to think Kayla, real estate, Kayla, real estate, Kayla, real estate, Kayla, real estate, Kayla, right? Again and again and again and again. And so I think that that's mind share. When someone thinks about buying or selling a home, who do they think of? And I think that if you can position yourself as the person that they think of, that's mind share. That's powerful. And if you're putting out messaging like, hey, thinking about selling your home, wanting to know what the staging, tips are, wanting to know what repairs or improvements you should do, wanting to know when the best time to buy or sell is, wanting to know all of this. If you're talking about that stuff continually, and if you're putting that messaging out there, you will gain that mind share. And so again, it's just the consistency, something that, you're damn good at. 52 weeks, it's insane. And I'm not, I hope that everybody watching really understands that. Because when you set out to do something, when you set out to do a podcast, it's real easy to have great ideas. It's very difficult to execute them. And it's difficult to execute them over time. And so I think that looking at our business as a business is key. The hobbyists will be gone. In 5 years from now, I do not see the hobbyists surviving. If you're selling 2 to 5 deals a year, you're probably going to be in a different industry, or you're probably going to be working for a real estate company. That's just, in my opinion, that's the reality that's coming. And so I think that the agents that are going to survive all of this will be the ones that can get out there, provide massive value consistently over time, and they will grow mind share. They will be bringing massive value, and they'll flourish. They'll be, like us, what we're doing. I think I really see this as a gift. I really do. I think that I saw something happening. I was just in the position that I'm in. We were able to partner with some amazing guys that were out there. They were in the field doing this. We created this software. It's really neat. It's called Offervana. A seller can go on, fill out one home survey, and then they can get their offer from Open Door. They can get their offer from OfferPad. They can get their offer from Zillow. They can get their offer from about 10 other sellers or buyers of sellers, and they can see it all in one place. It's like the Expedia of iBuyer offers.
That's great.
It is. It's cool. And I think that, with what Zillow's wanting to do, I'm not sure if anyone's really following this, but they're projecting $2 billion in profit through their Zillow offers program. I'm being corrected. $20 billion within 5 years through their Zillow Offers program. That's insane. That is insane. It's just insane what's happening. They're in 11 markets. They're growing. They just recently, they started in Arizona. They went to Texas. They went to Florida. They went to Georgia. They went to North Carolina. They just went to Minneapolis, Minnesota. So they are growing. And it's insane to see. And it's exciting. I just want to say that it's exciting. If you're on the top of your game, this is music to your ears. You know, I sold real estate in 2003, did really well. My husband and I were the #1 team in the Southwest region of the United States for Century 21. And the market crashed in 2006. You know, I went from making $1 million to nothing. The market crashed. It was crazy. I had to retool. I had to learn short sales. I had to learn REOs. And within 3 years, I was the #1 broker in the state of Arizona. I had a contract with Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. I had a contract with HUD and Bank of America. Because I saw it coming, I shifted and adapted. And so I think that anybody listening really should look at the market, see what's going on, see how they can change their processes and procedures in their business, and they'll do really well. They'll flourish.
So as we move forward with these changes and everything else, where I would ask Kayla, look at your crystal ball, and what is the business going to look like in 3 to 5 years? What would you say to that?
I'm sorry, what was that again?
What would the business, our real estate business, look like in 5 years? Because everybody says that, you know, the real estate industry may be replaced and all this other stuff.
You know, I'm pretty real, and what I see happening, and data doesn't lie. Look at the data. Data doesn't lie. And when you look at the data, and you look at what's happening, and you look at the money that's being poured into this. And what most people don't understand is most of the money that funded like Zillow and Trulia, you know, all of that, most of that money was from the property tech of financial services. Right. Now what is funding these companies is fintech, which is the financial tech. So we have a completely different group of venture capitalists that are coming in and changing everything because they see the opportunity. We have a $75 billion annual commission nut nationwide. That's huge. That's a lot of money. And what's happening is they're saying with technology, with process, with procedure, being the Amazon of real estate essentially is going to be very lucrative. That's what these companies are trying to do. It will provide an amazing consumer experience. Will sellers trip over equity for this? Absolutely. Are you going to stop it? Probably not. How can you help them along the way? You can be the Brita water filter. Sellers and buyers don't want to deal with bullshit anymore. They don't want drama. They want a clean cup of water and they want to drink it. And what that means is they want a frictionless process so that they don't have to have all of the headache and be involved in all of this drama that gets created in real estate. And so I think that in 2025, what is that going to look like? I think we'll have a lot of large companies. I think we'll see flourishing employee models. So you'll see the Redfins grow. You'll see Open Doors, OfferPads, Knock is growing very quickly. Yes. I think what's interesting about Knock, if you look at Knock, and have you heard of Ribbon?
Yes.
So Knock and Ribbon, what a lot of people don't understand and they just don't realize is it was founded by the co-founders of Trulia. One of them started Knock, one of them started Ribbon. They've both been extremely well capitalized. I'm really excited for Ribbon. I think what Ribbon's doing is a pretty cool value proposition. I would love to be able to incorporate that into what we're doing with Offervana. And so there's just a lot of cool things happening. And so we got to stop trying to figure out what's the scripting that we're going to use to get our seller to pay us a 6% commission. We got to stop that shit. It's just asinine. And instead, we have to focus on how can we make this process so amazing? How can we provide a consistent process and procedure so that when someone does business with me, they know what to expect. And that is where you're going to find the value.
And I'm going to tell you where it all comes from is our consistent message that we've been actually pounding the whole time we've been on it today. Have a consistent message. Give value to what they want not what you think they need. This is all the stuff I talk about all the time, and I'm sure you do with your new agents and when you do coaching and stuff. So, you know, we've gone through a lot of stuff. We probably shocked a lot of people with what we had to say today, and that's fine. I would like to be the different person. But I want to ask you, how do people contact you, get information on what you're doing if they want to connect with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So the best way to reach out to me is just through social media. So I am on Facebook. It's at Kayla Laos. That's KALALAOS. And my Instagram handler is the same, at Kayla Laos. That's KALALAOS. And if you reach out to me through Facebook, Instagram, even LinkedIn, message me and I'll get right back in touch with you.
So if I ask you to sum everything up and give one good thing that people can take with them as a great takeaway, what would that be for today's conversation?
One takeaway from today's conversation?
Yep.
The shift is a gift. Embrace it and see how you can implement new strategies in your business to be relevant and to grow.
Fantastic. I want to thank you so much. Oh, almost forgot. You know the reason that you actually did come on, right?
Yes. Yes, the hat. I can't wait.
All right. So this is the thing that everybody's coming out before they want to get a hat. So we'll be sending you yours very shortly. You know what? When we get some extra release, we even say one for Jake because we love the Jason so much.
Yes.
I'm sure he'll be happy about that. Kayla, I want to thank you for coming on. I sorry about some of the tech crap that we had to deal with, but I hope it was enjoyable for you. Don't forget, next week we will be on July 5th, the day after our July 4th celebration with Stephen B. from London, England. Thank you, Kayla, for coming on. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you. Bye, guys.
Stay here.